Chapter 4. Let's see. Do you think that the problem is with his glasses, or do you think that it's his mind that's affected? What do you think? And anyway, I have another question. Do you think that Mercy's life is really bad because she doesn't have a good bike? Now she's sunshine buddies and that's mean to her. Do you think that her life is bad, or do you think that it's not bad? It's just maybe at times you just maybe don't like it. What do you think? I think it's pretty good. I think that her life is good. Now, I have a question. Do you think that you would like to drop out of school? Because let's see, I wanted to see if I can see here. Sorry, I'm trying to see if I can find something. So we're just gonna start off on page 52 when Tianli says has mispronounced Edna's name incorrectly. Okay, mispronounced Edna's name. Edna, I say. She rolls her eyes. Whoever. And you, she tells Lulu, stop encouraging a dropout. She's finishing school and going to college like her mother. They all are, even the twins. Even if I don't have to send them to reform school first. Now, do you think that you would like a full education? Now, I have a question. If someone asks, would you like a full education, or would you like to get a high school just a dropout, and would you like to live a free and awesome life? Well, I think that I would just like to live, I wouldn't have dropped out because, number one, it would be really hard to go to any college. Number two, you have to learn things at school that they're crucial. And number three, learning is fun. Now, you might be like, okay, Jaden, that is not possible. It's true. I don't like sitting at desks, but I do like learning history and writing and literature. You know I do. Those are my favorite things to do in studying. I don't really like math, though. So, yeah, I'm not perfect. Okay, now do you think that Mercy should drop out? I was just really curious. And final question: how do you think that telling your worries to somebody else, maybe why do you think that's so important? Well, I think it's because you can at least tell someone, right? All your troubles, sort of like a weight that's lifted from you, because now all the troubles, people are sharing them with you, and they're like, right? Because a weight, if somebody else shares it with you, is easier. Let's say that you're trying to hold up this couch, okay? This couch. Actually, no, that's too big. What about you're trying to hold up this cup? And, okay, now, if this cup is, really heavy, okay? And you're right now oh my God. Oh my God. If you're like that, now I don't know if it's possible for a cup to be that heavy, but if it is that heavy, then somebody might just walk along and say, well, nobody will walk along and say, I'll help you, but really, if you tell somebody, it's like somebody else helping, right? So imagine that these two hands, my hands, belong to two different people, and they're like, oh, my cup's gonna fall, but yeah. So in my opinion, that was a pretty good example. Now, can you think of an example like that? Now, chapter 5. do you think that, now I have a question. Do you think that why did Edna want to be friends with Michael? Why suddenly, like, just a minute ago, she was like, oh, I mean, she wasn't that interested, right? She was like, you're a sunshine bunny, and she was sort of like, but now, suddenly she's like, oh, Michael, let's be buddies. What in the world has happened to her? Why didn't she's doing it? Because she just wanted to look cool, right? Which I think is really annoying. So, now, if you had been Mercy, would you have liked to be friends with Michael Clark? Quick question. At least I'm sunshine buddies with Michael Clark. And then Miss Tannenbaum, there's one, right? So Miss Tannenbaum, it says that she's big on projects. Are you big on projects? And so far, what do you think that your favorite project ever in your life has been? My favorite project ever? Writing books. Just, quick, short books. Well, they're not short, but in my opinion, I like those books. I like writing. Now, and then so they have to read. They have to, not read, but they have to make this awesome map, right? They have to make a map of the Tigris and Euphrates River Basin. I think that's it. Let's see. Wait, sorry. Okay, now I've totally lost everything. Okay, never mind. Anyway, if you had just worked on your own, okay, then how would you have made the map? I think that I really think that clay is a really good idea, but I think that's too much use. I'm gonna look out into my garden to see if I can see if there's any inspiration out there. Oh, here's one. I think that I'm gonna make like an actual model with like stones and natural materials. Actually, no. I think that I'm gonna use like a mixture of, like clay, paper, and buttons because of the idea. And finally, crayons and stuff. And I think that I can make a pretty good one. I think it will look really awesome and cool. And now, Rachel, right? Rachel's like she's like, like she gets surprised at everything. She's like when Edna says, staring at your boyfriend again, and Mercy's like, quit it, boyfriend. Rachel's mouth drops open and her blue eyes get big. It's like she's going to pee in her pants. Are you going on with Michael Clark or something? Rachel likes to get shocked by everything. You gotta be? And that means big eyes on you. You live in Green Acres? Hand over mouth. But nothing thrills her more than love. Last year when she saw 2 8th graders kissing behind the gym, I was sure that she was going to spontaneously combust. She could barely catch her breath to tell us. I saw that same pair of lovebirds kissing behind a tree in the parking lot where Mommy sometimes waits for us when we're staying after school. To me, it looked like they were sucking each other's faces off, like in a sci-fi movie. There were sound effects and everything. I wasn't sure either of them would survive. Honestly, it was scary. Now, here, like, Rachel's like, right? And, now, are you that kind of person, or even when something terrifying happens, are you like, yeah, I heard about the murder. How are you like? Well, I'm not like, because let me just tell you, when I went on my first roller coaster, I was perfect. I was petrified and I almost died because I was so petrified. Let me just tell you, it was the most terrifying, horrible example in my life. I almost died because of that. Just trauma, because of trauma, I almost died. I'm lucky that I'm right now talking to you today in clothes, pants, even though you can't see it, and with the rest of my body intact, because that roller coaster seriously could have killed me. I think that maybe the creators of all roller coasters, I think that if they want, like, like those criminals, like evil agents and stuff, and the CIA is trying to torture them, like, to get information out, they'll be like, just go on that roller coaster, and after that they're like, please don't let me do it again. And they would just spill all the information out. Yeah, I'm gonna actually have to email the CIA on that. Now back to the book. We're seriously getting off topic. Now, do you think that Edna is too bossy? Do you know anybody bossy? Do you think you're bossy? Like, do you try to be the boss, or are you just trying to get everybody equal? Are you like this? And you feel like a peasant. What do you feel? What do you think? And do you think that Mercy's idea is better, or do you think that Edna's got ideas better? Well, I like to mix things up, so I like Mercy's and Edna's and a touch of my own, all combined. I think that would make it really amazing. But of course, people don't at times but then around, I think that it would be hard to make it cooperate without, serious action and physical action and mental action and threats, which I don't want to do. So yeah, it would be pretty much impossible to make Edna crack, unless I physically throw her against the wall, and of course I'm not going to do that. Okay. Now, so do you think that, have you ever felt like a pain? Because Edna asked that Mercy's a pain. Do you think, in your opinion, do you think that Mercy's a pain? And who do you think is more of a pain? Who do you think is the most pain, if you had to just ask, if someone asked you, who do you think is the most pain, who's the most annoying and painful character in the book? What would you say? I would say Edna. And if you said Edna, now it's all opinion. But if you said an Edna, then ding ding ding, you agree with me. That's awesome. If you say Mercy, ding ding ding. Okay? Ding 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 means hooray, okay? Then you don't agree with me, but I am like it. If you say Lolo, ding ding ding. You don't agree with me, but it's your opinion. If you like Abula, twins, etc., ding ding ding. Even if I don't agree with you, who cares? Right? Yeah. It's lots of ding ding dings there. And this cord I'm pulling down, every time I pull down the cord, it means there's like a small miniature thing that you can't see that says ding ding ding. Just for your information. So, now I wanted to talk about what I wanted to talk about was about Michael, right? So here's where Mercy meets Michael for the first time. And now, so let me just read this, okay? I stare at the locked up branches for a while, realizing that I'm still too short to see the magic down from here. But then I notice someone on the other side of through the spaces. The face is so pale that it's camouflaged almost perfectly. Standing on the other side is Michael Clark, all by himself. That girl Edna said you wanted to ask me something. He says, what is it? My mouth goes dry. For a second, I'm not even sure he's talking to me. So I turn around to be sure he doesn't mean someone else. Oh, nothing really, I say. I hope no one is watching us. I don't want to hear Edna teasing me about him being my boyfriend anymore. Oh, his bushy eyebrows knit together. Curses on Edna for making me notice them. Okay, so, would you like anybody watching that conversation? Just a quick question here. And, and how would you feel about talking to your sunshine buddy? Would you like that experience, or would you hate that experience? Now, I have a last question before we finish chapter 5 and go on to chapter 6, and that is, do you think that Mercy is going to do anything else with Michael Clark, or do you think that this is going to be all? What do you think is going to happen here? And finally, do you think that Miss McDaniels is really happy with Mercy? And how do you think that she's feeling about Mercy? Simply, please, okay? And those are just some quick questions. Now let's go on to chapter 6. And we still have a long way to go. And of course, you can always pause the video and do this next time. But for people who just want to plow through, then let's start, okay? Now, I just wanted to talk about chapter 6. So, here, Lolo and Mercy are just riding along, and suddenly Lolo has fallen, and she's never fallen before. And also, this happened right after that police accident. What in the world do you think is happening to Lolo? Like, why do you think he's acting so strange? What do you think? And now, do you think that Lolo is all right, or do you think that something happened to him, traumatic, or yeah? And if you had been Mercy, would you have suspected anything, or would you have just been worried? I would have been worried, but I would have actually suspected something, at least a little. Not even if I didn't think a lot. Now, so do you think that Lolo is the same Lolo again, or do you think that he's now different? And if so, how do you think that he is different? And if you're at Mercy, how would you have felt about everything? And I want you to use a simile. I'm gonna say, I felt as if I was on the top of a roller coaster. You know how terrifying that feels, right? And then it suddenly stops. Oh, just think about it. It makes me have a heart attack. You know how scary that is? Like, it's terrifying. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, again, what do you think that Lolo? Do you think he's gonna be all right or not? And we are going to find that out soon enough in the book. So that's just a really important part. But this was a prediction. And now my last question, okay? My last question until we go on to chapter 7. And my last question here is, do you think that Lolo is ever going to be normal again? And even if we actually don't know the real Lolo because it's only from memories and Mercy's telling us, do you think that the real Lolo is better than this Lolo? How do you think that he was different maybe? Well, it was probably different that he never fell and he never made mistakes, right? It was just normal and just nice. Well, he's still nice though. So another question I have is, do you like changes? Because Mercy, there's all these changes, but do you like changes or do you hate them? It's not like I hate changes, but at the same time, yeah, I like some changes, but I hate some other changes. But changes in general, how do you feel about them? I think I feel pretty good about them because changes are new and exciting and they lead to new amazing things. So I think that, yeah, I'm pretty enthusiastic about changes, okay? Now, what about we go on to chapter 7? Do you think that Abdullah is gonna worry again? And she does, right? She about the kitchen cabinets. And do you think that she's worrying too much, or do you think that she has the right to worry? After what happened to Lolo, maybe she has the right to worry, but not that much, okay? Not that much. And then there's also this football game, and it's spelled different than like football, so I don't think it's really football. I have no idea what it actually is, but I think it's soccer in my opinion. But I'm gonna have to see football, what it is, Spanish word. So, do you think that if you had been Mercy, would you have wanted to go to the football game or not? I would have loved to go there. And do you think that Mommy is like just ruining all the fun when she's saying that it's a school night? And even if it's a school night, do you think that Mercy has a right to go? After all the things that she's been through, I think that she definitely has the right to go. What about you though? And has this ever happened, like if someone said, it's a school night, or there's school, or maybe they've mentioned there's a book club, or maybe there is that class that you have to go, or anything else, that some event, or anything else really, that prevents you from going to somewhere or doing something that you really want? Well, one time, same thing happened to me. I wanted to go to Joshua Tree National Park, which actually is not that far away from me. About maximum is 3 hours drive. And I wanted to go there, but Mom said, well, tomorrow is, think what it is, school day. I just think that we could just go back. In total, that would only be 6 hours. And besides, like, yeah, we would still spend about almost a full day. But They never listen to kids. Yeah, if nobody's listened to you, yeah, I know how you feel. Okay. Now, okay, so actually it's soccer because it says what I love about driving to soccer games with Poppy is that it puts him in a good mood. Soccer. I was right. My guess was right. Okay. Now, now what I wanted to talk about finally here is, do you believe that Mercy would be good enough to play football like with the adults? I almost didn't believe it, but then I realized that she is pretty good. And do you ever like do things that most kids wouldn't do, but like since you're so good at it, you can do it with the adults? Well, I'm better at my mom and dad at reading and writing, but I don't really do it with them because they have other things to do. I'm gonna have to think about it, but I have gone to some classes that are for older kids, but after that, I don't think so. So, do you think that Manny is going to win, or do you think that Poppy is going to win anyway? And if you have been Manny, if you have been Poppy, on a scale to 1 to 10, how much would you have liked Manny? I don't think that I wouldn't have liked him at all, but yeah, I wouldn't have liked him at all, really. So, do you think that, and then we realized, and then it says this, you were nice to help him up, even though he's your enemy, I tell Poppy. Okay, the first aid kit is still open in my lap. I've been trying to fit the packets of gauze and rolls of tape back in place before shutting it in the glove compartment again. The bumps and sway in the van are making it tough. Poppy takes a swig of water. Anybody could do the same. Anyway, Cruz and I aren't really enemies, Mercy. We're in business, each of us trying to get by, that's all. I gave him a look. He's still your guys. He shrugs. Nobody forced them to go work for him. They just wanted jobs where they could earn the most money. Who can blame them? He tosses his water bottle and crushes it in his hand before tossing it to the back. Cruz has never been my favorite person, I'll give you that. But an enemy, there's no sense in giving those if we can help it. And having those if we can help it. Do you agree with Poppy? And what do you think about what he's thinking? Yeah, how do you like it? And do you think, and overall, do you have any enemies, and do you think that having enemies is good or bad? I think it's bad. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed these chapters with me in Merci Suarez Changes Gears. So a few last questions. What was your favorite part in these chapters, our first 8 chapters of this book? Yeah, what was your favorite part? I'm going to have to think about that, okay? And then, what was your favorite character, and then your least favorite character? I have to say my least favorite character probably would be Edna, and then my favorite character would be Mercy. Okay, then how did you just like the whole book in general so far? We've only read to chapter 8, so we can't really judge it now, but still, this is so far how much, on a scale to 1 to 10, you don't have to do that, just how much do you like it? I just like it a lot. On a scale to 1 to 10, I would say it would be 11. Yeah, it's one of my all-time favorite books. Okay, and I hope that, and again, I also hope that you enjoy this book too, because I really like it, and it has won the Newbery Medal. Okay, now for predictions. How do you think that Mercy's gonna go well with Michael? How that Sunshine Bunnies thing is gonna work out? Do you think that Edna is gonna keep on being mean? What might be a few things that might happen? Why Lolo is acting so strange? Do you think this is gonna get solved? And finally, why didn't that this Merci Suarez changes gears? Like she's on a bike. Oh yeah, and here's another question, and that is, do you think that Mercy is finally going to is going to stand up to Edna or not? And now, if you have any other questions that you've thought of, then of course ask them to yourself, because at times the questions that you ask yourself are the hardest. Okay. Okay, so I hope that you enjoyed Merci Suarez Changes Gears with me by Meg Medina, and I hope that you have a great rest of the day or night. Bye, and I hope that you enjoyed Merci Suarez Changes Gears. The book says bye too. Bye.